That's an intriguing perspective. The virtues detailed by Marcus Aurelius in his book Meditations can indeed help us navigate through the stormy seas of life with grace and equanimity. Let's delve deeper into each one of them. The very first virtue Marcus recommends is acceptance, which is understanding and embracing our current circumstances as they are, without any form of denial or resistance. This approach is inspired by Stoicism, a philosophy that Marcus was deeply influenced by, which encourages individuals to accept events as they come, while recognizing that they can only control their own actions and reactions. Marcus wisely advises us that every event in life is intertwined with the grand tapestry of existence, predestined by the laws of nature. This notion can indeed help alleviate the burdens of regret and disappointment, allowing us to calmly acknowledge our present situation. He implies that where we are now isn't a random occurrence, but where we're supposed to be, following the natural order of life. The act of acceptance can bring inner tranquility and lays the groundwork for shaping the future. The second virtue that Marcus elucidates is mindfulness. This term, while deeply embedded in Eastern philosophies such as Buddhism, is equally relevant in the context of Stoicism that Marcus advocated. Marcus teaches us to disconnect from the illusions of the past and the future, instead centering our attention on the present moment, the here and now. He puts it beautifully when he says, "Forget everything else. Focus solely on this moment and remember, each of us only lives in the present, this fleeting instant. The rest has already passed or is yet unseen." This statement encourages us to let go of the past, as it's merely a memory, and the future, which remains unseen. Emphasizing that our only certainty lies in what we are engaged in at the present moment, Marcus encourages us to give our fullest attention to our immediate actions. By doing this, we have given our best, leaving the rest to the flow of life. This sort of mindfulness brings about an increased sense of calmness, as it helps reduce anxiety stemming from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Focusing on the present moment allows us to make the most out of our time, acting to our highest potential right now, which is indeed all we truly have. The concept of discrimination is indeed a crucial one among the virtues Marcus Aurelius emphasizes. When Marcus refers to discrimination, he isn't speaking about prejudiced behaviors or differential treatment, but rather the discernment of knowing what is within our control and what isn't. He pens a timeless message in his Meditations that the only things that belong to us, the only things we have complete control over, are our body and mind. In other words, our thoughts, emotions, and physical actions are the territories we can govern. Everything else lies outside of this realm and is therefore beyond our control. To delve deeper, let's discuss the elements we can control. Our body, mind, and actions. These are our methods of self-expression, how we portray ourselves to the outside world. We can control how we react to situations, the way we articulate our thoughts, how we manage our emotions, and even how we choose to present ourselves physically. However, the world's reaction to our self-expression is an entirely different story. This we cannot command. You could communicate with the most heartfelt intentions, yet your words could be misunderstood. You could pour your heart and soul into a project like writing a book, producing a song, or directing a film for several years. But you cannot dictate people's preferences or force them to appreciate your work. When we talk about this analogy, you can put on the warmest, most waterproof clothes to face the weather, but you cannot stop it from raining. It's all about appreciating that we each have a certain sphere of influence. Picture yourself preparing for a storm. You've layered up in your coziest, most waterproof gear. You've done everything in your power to protect yourself, but you can't control the storm itself. It's going to rain whether you want it to or not. This scenario is much like life. We often cannot control the circumstances we find ourselves in, but we can control our reaction to them. Now let's unpack the wisdom Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, imparts to us here. His insight is profoundly simple, yet incredibly impactful. A significant portion of life's events is beyond our control. Rather than succumbing to frustration or despair over this reality, Marcus encourages us to embrace it, to find peace within it. This acceptance is not about resignation, but about understanding the boundaries of our influence. By acknowledging this, we can foster a sense of tranquility and serenity in our lives. Instead of wasting energy attempting to manage the unmanageable, like the actions of others or natural disasters, we can focus our resources on what is within our power, our responses, our behaviors, and our emotional landscapes. Such a virtue of discrimination, as Marcus recommends, offers a path to personal freedom. By discerning between what we can and cannot control, we liberate ourselves from the chains of needless worry and stress. It's a ticket to a more serene and content life, one where we aren't tossed about by the whims of external factors. What's more, this way of life can foster resilience. By recognizing that our responsibilities and control lie within us, we become less affected by the turbulence of the external world. Other people's actions, opinions, or events in the world become just that, external. They're like the storm we talked about earlier. We can't stop them, but we can prepare ourselves and choose our responses. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic philosophy encapsulates this beautifully. It underscores the importance of focusing on our actions, not on their outcomes, which are often beyond our control. This approach to life encourages us to let go of anxieties about the future, or regrets about the past, and to anchor ourselves in the present, finding peace and acceptance in our actions. It's an empowering perspective that helps us navigate life's storms with a sense of calm, well prepared with our waterproof clothes, ready to face the weather, rain, or shine. The fourth virtue that the ancient Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius speaks about is judgment. He provides sage advice saying, "Do not consider anything important except fulfilling your nature and accepting what nature sends your way." Here, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of understanding and being true to one's intrinsic nature, as well as accepting the events and circumstances that life throws at us. The central point of this virtue is to remind us to focus on the things within our power. Marcus warns us against the mistake of valuing inconsequential matters. In our modern world, this could be equated to chasing after superficial goals like money, fame, or societal approval. Such pursuits often lead to stress and dissatisfaction because they rely on external factors beyond our control. Moreover, these things are fleeting and could change or disappear at any moment. On the contrary, Marcus believes that living virtuously is of paramount importance. He underscores the importance of values like justice, honesty, self-control, and courage. These virtues can be considered a roadmap for being a good person, and unlike wealth or fame, they lie within our sphere of influence. When we assign importance to these right things, we cultivate an inner calmness and peace. It's because our goodness isn't reliant on the changing tides of life, but lies solely within us. Following judgment, the fifth virtue Marcus extols is adaptability. He provokes us with his words, saying, "Afraid of change, but what can exist without it? What is closer to the heart of nature?" Marcus offers various examples from nature to make us understand that change is not just inevitable, but essential. He talks about how bathing in hot water changes the state of the firewood, or how eating food necessitates its transformation. He suggests that all vital processes in life require change, and it's no different for us as individuals. Marcus reminds us that resisting change is unnatural, as the world is in a state of continuous progression. Not adapting means being left behind. To exist harmoniously with the rhythm of life, we must be willing to adapt, to embrace change as a part of our natural existence. Acceptance of this reality brings about a greater sense of peace and calm. In essence, practicing these five virtues, acceptance, mindfulness, discrimination, judgment, and adaptability, can help you follow in the footsteps of Marcus Aurelius, regarded as the last of the 5 good emperors of Rome. His Stoic teachings encourage us to embrace change and maintain calmness, even amidst the uncertainty and turbulence of life. His philosophy provides a timeless guide to lead a meaningful, purposeful life,